Hell no. I'm never bearish on TRVL. TRVL is the most bullish thing out there, in my opinion. Ask me why. I'll tell you why. Yeah. TRVL is attacking a completely empty space in crypto in Web3. TRVL has no competitors at all. It's doing a very unique thing. Dtravel are doing a very unique thing, and the market cap of this unique thing is in the tens of billions or hundreds of billions. The travel industry, okay, the Airbnb industry, the Booking.com industry, all of that industry is up for grabs, and no other crypto project or Web3 project is doing what Dtravel is doing, and what TRVL is going to be or will become. I'm extremely bullish on this project. I'm ultra bullish because we're so early. We're literally at the beginning. And what I'm doing with my channel, crypto channel, is getting people interested, and they're going to do their own research. And if they have any questions, they're going to ask me, and I'll answer them as much as I can. Otherwise, you can get the answers on the Discord or Telegram or on the website, dtravel.com. But this is a game changer, potentially. And we're really at the beginning. We're really at the beginning of what could be a game changer. And I think anyone who is buying TRVL is going to walk away very well. Very well. But it's kind of like catching AI before people even understood what AI was or what AI was doing. Okay. But it always was an idea that could explode. And I think this is also an idea that could explode because it's a real world application, and it's basically, we're basically attacking a real world Web 2 idea, and we're making it Web 3. Okay. And there's no possibility for these legacy Web 2 companies to do what Dtravel are doing, because it's their business and their whole model is based on old Web 2 based idea, Web 2 based centralized idea. And this is all turning that upside down. So we've had a pullback from 9 cents. So this is potentially it's the third attempt at 9 cents. Okay. We've put in a daily level at above 9 cents. In my mind, that's a poor high. And I think we're going to revisit 9 cents again. And I don't know when that's going to happen. There's a major pivot coming, a time pivot on soon in the next 2 weeks. What does that mean? Okay, I don't know what that means actually, because if the price is descending as we make that pivot, then rather than that pivot being in the highs, the pivot's actually going to be in the lows. You're going to put a major pivot in the lows, and we just have to see where the price is. I was expecting, honestly, I was expecting or thinking that we'd be up there when we put that pivot in, and you never know, that could still happen. Who knows? But at the moment, the way what it looks like is because BTC is correcting, we're potentially going to be putting a pivot in the lows. Even though we've moved up, this is not I can't really see impulse actually. Like, I'm looking at this and I'm going, is this impulsive? Is this impulsive? That was quite impulsive. Maybe that was slightly impulsive, but actually it wasn't. So I'm just wondering what's happening, what happens next. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know really. I don't think these bullish ideas are invalidated. This Adam and Eve, I don't think it's invalidated. I don't think this Wyckoff schematic is invalidated. And if it's, which one is it that I was looking at? Potentially this harmonic is not correct. So I'm going to delete that. You never know, but I won't delete it. I'll just keep it. I think possibly we're looking to come back into support and just test this LPS. And I think this is going to follow Bitcoin, actually. And that's what I was thinking to myself. I was thinking right now, the price action looks very similar to Bitcoin. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you now. Which chart shall I use though? That's the question. Let me use the Bybit chart because it's got least stuff on it. So if I zoom into the daily time frame, okay. See how you kind of, don't know if you guys can see this, but kind of got this and then that. Kind of got this and then that. See that? And then further down, you have this. See that? Kind of have this. Now, when Bitcoin moved up from this pivot that was made here, we did move up. That was the pivot. And it was a very steady up. It wasn't like a crazy up, but it was, we were moving in the same direction. And then here, when we dropped this, look, it's very similar to Bitcoin. See that? And then you have this kind of, that prolonged range, that prolonged range here. And it's very similar there. Now, this is what was different. So here Bitcoin was consolidating and here the price sold off. And then here Bitcoin started to go up and here the price expanded. So this was, they're very similar, but this was very volatile, probably because of the low volume. It just went up and down like this, and this kind of went up and down like this. Okay. And then the pivot was put in here. And when Bitcoin was there, this was the pivot here in Bitcoin. You see that? And then the price expanded up and the price expanded up. So I really think that right now what's happening when I look at TRVL, I'm seeing very clear similarities with Bitcoin. I don't think that's a bad thing because everyone's expecting Bitcoin to go to 100,000. Okay. And possibly what I'm thinking is that it's better to be in TRVL, because if you look at the way the price has moved from this pivot here that I identified to the current price, Bitcoin is up 149,000, sorry, 149%. And from here to where the price is now, TRVL is up 250%, 250%. Now, in the scale of altcoins, maybe people are thinking this is poor, but one of the reasons why TRVL is behaving the way it is because we still haven't got into price discovery. Okay. And that's and I'm going to show you what I'm seeing. Okay, so even if you zoom in on the local time frame, okay, so this is the 2-hour time frame. And let me just get rid of these brush strokes now. I'll do the same on both these charts because it's just kind of gets in the way. You can kind of see some similarity in the movement of the price. Yeah, so we had a little bit of a sell-off on Bitcoin, a little bit of a sell-off on TRVL, very similar price action. Right now, Bitcoin, we're kind of forming some kind of low. TRVL, you're forming some kind of low. Yeah. Bitcoin in the last 2 hours, you had having a little bit of a sell-off. See on TRVL we're having a little bit of a sell-off. They're kind of following each other. Very similar. Okay. There's something to bear in mind. And that's actually, I think that's a good thing. Like, don't think that that's a bad thing. It just means that TRVL against Bitcoin is very strong. It's holding its own. Yeah. We're not bleeding into Bitcoin if we're following Bitcoin. Yeah. Okay. You could argue that yesterday there was a little bit of a bleed and we're back into this range, this volume range, and that's true, but we're still holding this 236 level in the fib. And actually, I don't mind if we kind of backtest this area now. If we can hold it, that would be good. Otherwise, we're probably back into the range. Probably. Let's just see. I don't necessarily want that to happen, but you know, I'm not. Who knows? No one knows what can happen. If it doesn't happen right now, it just means it's not ready right now, and it will be ready later on. And effectively, the crazy impulse, as I've always explained, is going to be once we clear the Bitcoin. Once we get past some of these resistance levels in Bitcoin, in the future, we're going to be in price discovery. Okay. And what's happening now is as Bitcoin ascends, the Dtravel, the TRVL versus Bitcoin price is ascending. In the future, Bitcoin is going to get to a place where it's at its highs, 100,000 or more. Then this TRVL against Bitcoin is going to be in its highs. And then we're going to have alt season. And alt season, we're basically going to leave the highs and go into price discovery against Bitcoin. There's going to be a period of time in the future where we're going to have some kind of mad euphoric alt season, and the price is just going to pump into infinity and beyond. And that's right now the reason why the price isn't going to infinity and beyond is because we're clearing liquidity, historic liquidity. We're getting through historic resistance levels, and it's just a little bit of a process. It just gives people an opportunity to accumulate. People are thinking, well, why are other altcoins pumping and TRVL isn't? Well, because they don't have the same kind of situation, and also a lot of those tokens are already exposed to the wider market. But because this is a low market token, cap token, the gains on this are potentially much higher. If we do break past the all-time high into price discovery, really it could go as far as you want. No one can predict that future expansion in price and the markup. And then if you look at this Wyckoff schematic that I have, there is a back test on the LPS, and so potentially we are now back testing the LPS, the lowest point of support. Does it have to go all the way down to the 236 at 5.5 cents? No. The price could find support anywhere, but it will find support. Eventually the price will find support. The selling will end, and then people will start buying again, and they'll be buying at market to fill their positions, and the price will go up quite fast again. The other reason why the price will probably go up quite quickly is because the price has descended quite quickly. Okay. I don't think people are in the mood to sell TRVL. There's a little bit of trading going on, and that's fine. That's normal. And that's being controlled and driven by Bitcoin. Eventually it's just going to bottom out of this downward move, and then it will start going up again. We just have to keep an eye on it and see what happens. There's a good opportunity to buy. You can buy right now. My friend messaged me yesterday. He bought the pump at 9.5 cents, and he just said that he messaged me yesterday and he bought again. Okay, and he's buying a lot too. So I know that there are people buying, and some people are just waiting for the price to settle, and then they're going to start buying. Okay, so that's what's happening right now with TRVL. My objective is 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and I'm going to get all of them to buy TRVL. So click the like and the retweet. Let's do it, because I think this is a really good project. When you're looking at the moving averages, you can clearly see that the golden cross, since the golden cross, the price has been ascending, and right now the 50 moving average on a daily time frame is exactly where the 236 is at 5.5 cents. It's kind of what you want to see. So I think the 50 moving average right now is at a really good place for strong support if we do get down there. So that 50 moving average is going to give you an idea of where you're going to find good support levels. It's just an idea. You can't trade it, but it just gives you an idea. And you can clearly see that the momentum is starting to build. What I want to see is I do want to see a move up into the higher range. The higher range is anything above 9 cents and probably above this 382, and to make a higher high on the weekly time frame. Okay, and effectively what I'm imagining in my mind about Dtravel and TRVL is that TRVL is my long-term future bank account. That's what I'm imagining with TRVL, just because of the way the price is behaving at the lows. We are at the lows. We are going into a bull market. I do expect an increase in value, especially when it comes to price discovery and alt season. And this is a very unique project, and in the future I can see a future where we're going to have hundreds of thousands of people come to us from Airbnb, maybe more, millions, and they're going to come and list their properties on Dtravel. And also I see a future where you have travelers. It will begin with digital nomads. So digital nomads are in a dilemma because it's very difficult for them to have a bank account. They're traveling from country to country. They will work remotely. And this is basically a real amazing opportunity for them to store their value, and then they use the stored value to increase value through staking, and then also through paying, because they'll get a discount as well by paying in TRVL. So I do see a future where literally every digital nomad will be storing their value in TRVL and using TRVL as their primary bank balance. I see that future. I don't know when it's going to happen. Okay, and it does make sense because it means that they can always have a place, they can always pay for their accommodation using TRVL, and eventually it will become that kind of store of value, especially as the network grows and expands. You could argue, well, they could store their value in Bitcoin or something else. Yeah, they could, but they'll still have to transfer it, exchange it to TRVL to pay, because that's where they're going to get their reduced fees. So I think eventually you're going to get a situation where you're going to get these permanent digital nomads who will just store their value in TRVL, and it will just keep on growing as the network grows in size, which it will. So I'm seeing quite a few similarities with Bitcoin, and I've already explained in my stream yesterday the levels of interest. I think 7 cents is a level of interest, and so you can see now that the price is finding a little bit of support at 7 cents. The reason why I said that was because there's a volume area, and we're at the value area. We kind of briefly lost it on MEX. You see we're kind of slightly underneath it. So a good place to see strength is to just potentially get back above it. We're not there yet. If we don't get back above it, then we're probably putting in volume lower down, and then you just have to look for lower. It all depends on how people sell, but here on MEX I can see the volume is decreasing and the price is decreasing. That's a bullish decline in price. That's not bearish, that's actually quite bullish. You're getting a decline in volume, you're getting a decline in price. You don't want to see an increase in volume as the price declines. So I'm not seeing crazy bearishness right now. I'm just seeing the price follow Bitcoin, and assuming that people think that Bitcoin is going back to the all-time high, TRVL is going to go up. Yeah, it'll go back up to 9-10 cents easily. And so from now to there, it's a 33% increase in value. Yeah, so that's what I'm seeing right now. You see here on the KuCoin, we've come into the value area low. We're back into the value area. So the exchanges are all doing kind of very similar things. And once we get back above this high volume node, it will go right back up to the top of the range. And if people are looking to pick up TRVL, then I would say that this is not a bad place, not a bad place at all. Okay, but obviously just bear in mind that Bitcoin is controlling the price. Actually, when you look at the Bitcoin chart, we've come into the 236. This is what you want. You're back testing a higher time frame fib level. Yeah, this is the right place. And can you see how the price has bled into Bitcoin because Bitcoin has declined? When we go up, this is going to go up like that because there's no resistance that's formed on the way down. Yeah, so all these red candles, I can't see any green candles here. So as the price goes back up, it will just go right back up. Really easy. So we just have to wait for the price to settle down and find support. And obviously that's going to have everything to do with what's happening with Bitcoin. Okay, nothing to worry about. Are we back into this range? Well, as long as we don't lose this 236, I'm feeling okay. Obviously, if we lose that 236, then we're back into the point, and we're back into this range, and we're potentially ranging for a little bit longer. And that probably would mean that Bitcoin is going down. If we go down here, then Bitcoin is probably going down too. Okay, and if this starts going up, it probably means that Bitcoin is going up. At the moment, that's what I'm seeing. We're kind of following Bitcoin's path right now. All right, that's TRVL. Any questions on TRVL? Anyone? Look at Bitcoin. Oh, look at that. See that? Back into the neckline.